Who Could Ever Love You by Mary Trump. Mary Trump, niece of former President Donald Trump, is a psychologist. Yes, you heard that right. Trump's niece is a psychologist and author whose last name holds a weight that demands attention like none other. On the day of its release, her previous book, Too Much and Never Enough, actually I think there was another one after that, sold 1 million copies on the first day of its release. Ooh, that's insane. Ooh, that's insane. It discussed Trump's upbringing and the impact that his father had on it that helped shape the notorious and tenacious personality he displayed throughout his adulthood. After the release, some people actually kind of felt bad for Trump because I don't know what it is, but I have a deep personal vendetta against abusive fathers in memoirs, and it was not just Trump. By the way, Trump has, I think, 4 siblings as well. This book, according to my previous video on its background, it sounded like it would be more of an autobiography, which compared to a memoir, for those who don't know, is a specific biography written by the person it is about. Is it though? It actually says a family memoir on the cover. And as a rather juicy predicament, just like her previous book, this one is being released 2 months before the following presidential election. To say this is unintentional is just, it just seems kind of whack, okay? I know that word is so 2007, but damn, like seriously, Mary. So how does this book do at exploring the cruelty of the family that left her father unalive in the ER with no one by his side? How is it different from the previous one? Let's talk about it. Just so you know, there are affiliate links in the description. If you buy anything through those links, like maybe this book, then I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making these videos. You can also find this book and many others on my Amazon storefront. Chances are any books I mention, I have reviewed, and I will make sure to drop links to those in the description as well. So affiliate links, Amazon storefront, and other reviews. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam, and I want to make self-growth normal because people shouldn't have to look this information up. It should just be mainstream knowledge. If you agree, then please make sure to smash that like button. There were so many chapters in this book. I don't think they were numbered at all. If they were, there were so many that I didn't even feel like summarizing each one because I don't read. I listen to these books in audio format, and going over like 90 chapters that are each like 3 minutes long does not make sense. So I divided this review into going over each part. There were 4 parts. The first one is the dark beauty of recall. Okay, so I like how detailed she described everything in the beginning. Toward the end of this one part, there is a vivid talk about Freddie's Queens apartment and how the furniture was arranged and the names of his tortoise and lizard. Tomato is such a cute name for a tortoise. There's something golden about the conciseness in a memoir in general that just can't really be replaced. When she got to the part about Freddie, which is her dad, by the way, and Trump's older brother of about 5.5 years. Damn, do they look alike? Look at that. Wow. It's like he just put his face on another guy. The part about Fred, Trump's dad, belittling Freddie, his brother, for becoming a pilot instead of a manager at one of his properties is so dumb. Like, how is a pilot a glorified bus driver? Yeah, no pressure. It's not like over 100 people's lives could be destroyed, if not ended, over a split second's lapse of judgment. There's certainly psychology behind it, but can we at least agree that it shouldn't be that easy for a father to get under his 26-year-old son's skin? If being a pilot is so like, yeah, it's just nothing, anyone can do it, why does it take 2.5 years to become an airline pilot? That's now, by the way. Due to a number of different reasons, it actually took way longer to become a pilot back when this happened in the late 50s, early 60s. What sent everything into a total spiral sounded like it was his drinking habits, though. What sent those into a spiral? I think you could guess who it was. And I also think that to say it was his brother would be wildly inaccurate. Part 2 is Black Velocities. A stunning moment in the memoir paints itself here. It was just captured so retrospectively I couldn't believe it. The powers that be pasted our days perfectly. 2 activity periods in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, separated by lunch and a rest period, which we had to spend on our beds, whether we were napping, reading, or writing letters. Everything was organized, from the way we did laundry to the way we lined up for meals. I had never known such order, structure, or discipline before. The routine and expectations helped me make sense of the world, to know when I needed to do what and where I needed to be, to know what the rules were and what would happen if I broke them. All of this made me feel safe. The writing abilities are there. The nostalgia is there. Who Could Ever Love You it is so much different from Too Much and Never Enough, though. It's pretty astounding. It really is. And we'll get into this a little bit more. Part 3 is The Serial Killer. I have to say, I'm having a little trouble at this point understanding why the book is called Who Could Ever Love You? For example, in this part, there was one area where they had issues with the water, ants, cockroaches, air conditioners, windows, the wood frame, pneumonia, and more in their New York apartment. Fred Trump owned this building, but Freddie Trump, Mary Trump's dad, actually owned some of the building himself. He didn't even know it at the time. He owned 15% of the building, and he and his family were living in it, and they were experiencing those things. The superintendent could not give less of a hoot about it, and Freddie and his family experienced this. Every now and then you'll run into stuff like this, but it just makes certain members in the family and not any one specific person's character look bad. At other times, it is way more specific, but the title may seem like a reach at a jab at his chances of winning the election. Nonetheless, I feel like this book was underwhelming in centering itself around Donald. I know Mary Trump's haters might say that the title is just for attention, but there's nothing particularly sensational to me about the book beyond that. It's a sad, intimate memoir. If the title is for attention, it's not a good look on her part. I always felt that when it comes to memoirs, it should be clear by the end why the title is what it is. Coming Up for Air by Tom Daley is a damn good title. Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey is a damn good title. He explains why it's called Green Lights in the beginning, and very clearly. The Woman in Me by Britney Spears is a damn good title. It's the name of one of her songs. It describes a lot of her life perfectly. I did not get that much of this at all from Who Could Ever Love You. It was a family memoir. She did talk about, her immediate family, and also a little about how it was affected by, her non-immediate family. But Who Could Ever Love You? I mean, it was written, but the book was written by her. Like, I don't get it. I don't. It wasn't about how bad her family is. The only way out is through is part 4, and toward the end, the book becomes suddenly about Trump's bad deeds and mistakes. There was a good 20 minutes or so of it in the audiobook, and that was it. I'm still left wondering, seriously, what it was about the book that really necessitated the title. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad book. She doesn't seem like the type of person who deserves to be in a family that would neglect her fathers in the way it did. The storytelling was engaging. Some moments are a bit haunting, like the one where she described how that one family photo made her feel when she and Freddie were staring at each other. In terms of family memoirs, I think Too Much and Never Enough is just better in general because I found it so much more focused. Very shortly after finishing this book, I finished watching Monsters, the anthology series about the Menendez brothers case, where these two brothers, they unalived their parents, and how the whole thing came about and how them getting caught was unraveled and their experience in prison and all of that stuff. But the way that the father spoke to the brothers reminded me vaguely of the way Mary described how Fred treated his kids. If this book came out and then Too Much and Never Enough came out, I think it would be a much more impressive escalation in a way. Like, okay, if my last book did not give you enough of an idea as to how screwed up my family is, maybe this one will. And it might have been more effective in accomplishing what she wanted it to, but I digress. Quotes. Just kidding. They're actually, believe it or not, I did not have any standout quotes. Direction 1. This book probably has more information in it about the life of Mary Trump than any other book out there. So if you want to learn more about Donald Trump's niece and where her personal issues might stem from and how she's tackled them over the years and handled them, I definitely recommend checking this book out. There are a lot of other things in the book as well that directly just have to do with her family. But direction 2, if you like this book, I would recommend checking out Too Much and Never Enough for sure. For sure. Rage by Bob Woodward, and a little bit faintly, Beautiful Things by Hunter Biden. That's probably the saddest memoir I have ever reviewed, ever. Who Can Ever Love You by Mary Trump. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video if you want to check those out too. If there are any other books that you want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it, but hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't get why people watch this far into my book reviews and they don't subscribe, but if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to get a notification whenever I drop new videos, that would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere, and I'll see you then.